How do everybody? Sorry, I'm getting some Lemsip. I finally got struck down by a cold. Then again, if we're in the fall, it does make sense. So, welcome everybody to the Q&A session, which is going to be interesting because I'm just about here. Chris is here. How you doing, Chris?
Good, good. I'm guessing your cold came because your weather's doing what I did, and once summer was over, it got the fuck out.
It got nippy. Well, as it usually does, quite often we get sort of the remnants of what happens weather-wise from the east coast of America, like 3 or 4 days after.
Oh, sorry, we send you that shit.
It always so happens when there's like major storms, sort of like Midwest area, and then mysteriously a few days later, some element of them gets to here.
Ah, I got you.
That damn jet stream! God dang it! Um, so I think, yeah, not being sufficiently wrapped up in thermals, because I was like, I don't need thermals. It's
hmm
only, it's actually, on days when it isn't like this, it's still somewhat mild for what it should be in October. So I don't want to go into full thermal mode. I'm saving that for
Right.
when we actually get to sort of like, late fall, early winter into November and December, but that sort of thing.
hmm
Owen may be able to join us at some point, as will AJ. AJ is still en route to the AJ cubbyhole, as we'll christen it just for now. Um, so I'll fully wait for AJ to be here before we actually do the movie club stuff. So apologies everybody if you are watching live. I've also realised that there's only one person watching live, so this is going to make the poll interesting in terms of who can participate and who does pop in. We might just have to do it tomorrow as well, or do it in 2 weeks again to work out the other three. If it's only like the one vote is going to determine what's happening in 2 weeks. But as ever, we've got quite a bit to talk about. Most of which I can't see because the poll that I've got set up with my provisional pick and what I know is Owen's is there. Just in case Owen can't join, but again, Owen is en route as well, so glad to see he's alright as well after all the stuff I saw about. I'll always call it Flow Rider because of the rapper. Damn it. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any stuff here that, like, just myself and Chris can talk about. Where's Spencer to talk about Big Brother and stuff?
I know the season's over. I was ready for a question about how I thought it went. And I won't lie, I submitted my application to be on next season this morning, so we'll see.
Oh. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Because again, my window of chat is tiny at the minute because of the poll being there ready to go. Also, I've realised I can only do 4 options on the poll, so thank God there isn't 5 of us, because otherwise
Yeah.
that would get complicated.
It's interesting. I wonder why you can only do 4.
Because that might be the only one good thing Twitch is good at, where you can do like 5 or 6 or 10, or I can't remember. Everything else is going to crap over there. So. Okay, so there is one specifically from Josephine for you, Chris. So I guess that's a a relief.
All
Can you
right, let's
come
do
up
it.
with a legal procedural noir thriller starring Zoe Saldana, Omar Sy, Michael Wincott, Tony Shalhoub.
Ah, Shalhoub. I love it.
Shalhoub, he's always around. Storm Reed and Gabriel LaBelle from The Fabelmans.
Oh man, unfortunately I only know like half the names that you mentioned, but it's a legal procedural noir style.
Yeah. Omar Sy is the one that's in the Lupin films, I think. That's on Netflix.
I haven't seen those.
They're French. The thing I vaguely remember him from is... What was it? Untouchable, I think it was called. Which got turned into the terrible one with Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart. Because it had to be remade for American audiences, right? Right?
Yeah. Right.
Michael Wincott.
Because apparently we can't read subtitles. I know Michael Wincott. I already know what I want to do with him.
Storm Reed is the girl from Wrinkle in Time.
The main character.
Yeah, the young black girl.
Okay, that helps.
And Gabriel LaBelle, I think, is the kid playing not Steven Spielberg. In fact,
not Steven Spielberg.
Well, it's honestly not supposed to be Spielberg, although from what I've heard from, like, at least from Your Movie Sucks, Adam over there, he likes to think it's cynical garbage. It's just made to win awards. So, hello awards.
All right, so a legal procedural noir. Okay, I think I got something. I have a skeleton, so we can start with a skeleton. So basically, what I would do is I would have it take place in probably. I know it's kind of cheating to go back in time with noir, but with this story, I think it would work. I think we should go back to the 20s, right around the time in America where women were starting to get the right to vote. And what I would do is I would have Zoe Saldana be kind of our main character / narrator, and I would have her be, let's see, I would have her trying to convince a court that her husband, Michael Wincott, has been abusing her. The girl from Wrinkle in Time could be her daughter that knows the truth, but nobody listens to them because they're female and black and it's the 20s. And I would have Tony Shalhoub be the judge that starts out not wanting to hear it either and then kind of slowly morphs his opinion as the story goes on. And I would do it all from the perspective of Zoe Saldana's character. We would never cut away from her. She would be our narrator for the whole thing.
I'm trying to work out with that. Oh, Bry is still here. Thank you, Bry. As I say, everyone else is here. Eventually. So, Bry, it might be Bry, you might be the only person that actually gets to decide what's happening in 2 weeks, and then we have to put it out to vote again in 2 weeks' time. I have to hold off on everything else. The one thing I haven't seen mentioned.
I wanna add something to my answer that's a little avant-garde. Might be cheesy, but could work. The movie starts out in black and white, and the further that the plot goes on, and the more people start to change their opinion, certain things start to turn to color, and then the movie ends in color.
Oh, so DOA style.
Yeah.
At least the original DOA. Because, of course, the remake did it the other way around. Went colour to black and white. And then I think it went colour at the end.
Maybe.
I mean, I heard a car honk. So Owen is present in some shape or form. He's just not back yet. We'll just let him set up and whatever. Just trying to see. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. I guess the one thing we can talk about, because it's like, some reason it's a big story over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, it's probably going to be a big story anywhere. Apple don't give a shit. Will Smith's new film is actually coming out this year and might allegedly be up for awards if it's deemed good enough. It's just Will Smith.
See, I actually had this
I guess Will
discussion with
Smith will
AJ
be
the other
ineligible
day.
for Best Actor.
See, I had this discussion with AJ the other day. I figured because of Will Smith's previous reputation before all that went down, I didn't figure it would take long to put him in another prominent role. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties.
There we go. The lines are
There
moving.
we go. I can hear you.
The lines are moving.
There we go.
Yeah, so we knew that it was done and like in post-production.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan was for it to come out, but then with everything that happened, it sort of went like tentatively into hiatus as to what was going on with it.
Mm-hmm.
But they've now announced it'll be coming to cinemas December 2nd, which I'm guessing is a Friday, yeah. And then we'll go live on Apple Plus, streaming or whatever, the week after on December 9th, which technically would make it eligible for the Oscars.
And Will Smith was banned for, was it 10 years?
Yeah, he resigned from the Academy and he's banned himself. But of course, if there's anybody else that has a good performance in the film, I think they can be recognised. The one thing I was gonna check is whether Will Smith is producing it.
If he's producing it, would that disqualify the movie altogether?
Maybe. Maybe for like Best Picture it couldn't be considered. No, he is producing it.
Alright, so that would eliminate Best Picture.
Whether basically because he doesn't have membership, he wouldn't be allowed to accept the award for Best Film if it did.
Would they be able to nominate other producers and just not nominate him? Or
the other producers are Todd Black, who's done a lot of stuff with Denzel and Will Smith over the years. I'm just seeing the list of some of the stuff he's done as The Pursuit of Happiness, Equalizer, Poor Magnificent Seven, and Fences.
That's a good track record.
Also, Joey McFarland and John Moan, who doesn't have a Wikipedia page, so I can't find out everything about him. But there are other producers, so I'd have thought with that it would still be eligible.
But will they want to touch it?
Good question. Apparently,
and even then, if they did, would they try to cut like any Will Smith involvement out of it from like an appearance standpoint?
Yeah. I mean, the problem is he plays the lead.
That'd be really hard to get around.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the teaser trailer went up on Will's channel and on the Apple channel, so that's all officially a thing.
That would really stink for everybody else that's in it if they decided not to touch it for that reason, but there's other stuff in there that's worth merit. That'd be disappointing.
Yeah, we got Ben Foster as Ben Foster's in it. Stephen Ogg.
Oh man, somebody needs to give Ben Foster his due. Like that dude's phenomenal. Ben Foster's great. Somebody needs to give him his due. And and a part of the reason I say that is because I absolutely adore the remake 3:10 to Yuma. I think he's great in that. He's been great in a lot of other stuff. Ben Foster, I would definitely put at the top of my list as somebody that's due to be recognized.
Yeah, Stephen Ogg is also in it, who most people will probably know from either his appearances in Better Call Saul and Walking Dead, or for gamers, the iconic appearance of Trevor Phillips from GTA 5.
No kidding, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. I've been replaying Grand Theft Auto lately. Actually, while AJ was up here, we played it like every night.
I still like the fact that the bit where he trips over the fence in that scene where he meets up with Franklin was a legit outtake, but they kept it in because they all stayed in character enough.
That's funny.
But yeah, that is officially making its way out.
I'll be interested to see just what level they go to for that. Like if they're going to handle it with gloves, if they're not going to handle it at all. But the only thing that we know for sure is that Will Smith can't get anything from it, right?
Yeah, I think Will Smith is barred from the Academy, but because there's other producers and other people involved, I think it still qualifies as being eligible.
I just don't know if they're gonna do that. I think if we were 2 or 3 years on from what happened, maybe, but 1 year, I don't know if they're really gonna push it that much.
Well,
hell, the Globe might be all over it, but I don't know.
I'm just having a quick look and see what Apple TV Plus has got to offer. Other than, you know, what they have. Can I see a list of films that are on Apple Plus, please? Original programming. Well, I guess Greatest Beer Run Ever is an Apple film. So that could possibly be in there.
That's the new Peter Farrelly, correct? Okay.
We also have
Raymond. I'm retaining.
We have Raymond and Ray, which premiered at Toronto, with Ewan McGregor and Ethan Hawke in the leads, and directed by Rodrigo Garcia, who did Albert Nobbs, amongst other. Hang on, what else? Oh, directed Albert Nobbs, but most of the other stuff has really been. There was a 4 Good Days, which I think was where Glenn Close was nominated for a SAG, I think. I vaguely remember that because it was just randomly there, her and Mila Kunis.
That was the one that got in for song.
Yeah.
It was the Diane Warren song.
That was it. damn Diane Warren. So yeah, hey, AJ's here. So I guess now, just to get it out of the way so we can at least have 2 votes on what's going on with Movie Club. The green is Owen, Bry. Just so you know. So, we might as well go in the order of how the 4 is currently going. So, AJ, you're up first. What is your Movie Club pick for the 2 people in chat to vote on?
That would be Guillermo del Toro's Cronos.
Oh, from 93?
I was thinking something like that, early 90s.
Hang on. Cronos. Oh god, there's it's a disambiguation, damn it. Yes, I am correct, 93. See, I have retention as well. So, my planned one did go out the window because I figured, oh wait, there is a sort of horror-themed one that I don't think has been touched on the channel yet. I haven't checked, so this is the verification. 1970s The Man Who Haunted Himself.
Oh, with Roger Moore.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, if he says it's the best film he ever made, and he also made Moonraker, wow. Owen, I don't know whether you can chime in at this current time, or if you want me to say it, I'll just say it outright. Owen's selection is also... Stop. Drop. Stop. Oh, no. That's a Rough Riders roll.
Right.
I shouldn't have done that. I need some Lemsip.
Yeah, let's hope that I don't echo this time.
What
Get comfortable here. Mean Girls Day, we wear pink, ladies and gentlemen. See, there's also a movie that I've loved for a long time, and Chris knows what it is. I'm sure he does. I know AJ knows what it is. And when I found out that Movie Club was going to be a thing, this was always going to be one that I wanted to do. And the fact that this is Horror Month, it's not something we've ever tackled on the channel before. So we're going to, finally. And it's funny because AJ picked 1993, which so did I.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on.
Wow, I just realized what also is 1993. Anyway, so didn't do that on purpose. So yeah, there's a 1993 horror movie that I've always loved. Everybody knows how big of a Scream mark I am. Very excited to say that on Monday I'll be watching Scream 2 in a theater, thanks to Fathom Events. Either before or after Amsterdam. Haven't decided which one yet. Depends on what works out for the schedule. But yeah. This is a movie that most people probably have never heard of before. But I want to bring it to light and I want to talk about on this channel. My pick for Popcast Movie Club for October is Brain Scan.
I've just checked. It is 1994.
I know it is 93.
Release date April 22nd, 1994.
Way too close for my taste. But yeah, I'm horrible on years. But yeah, it's. I remember it being in 93, so I'm guessing it's one of those things that it's just kind of like I've always equated it with 93, so it's weird. Interesting release date. I will say that the concept of the movie is interesting. I've always thought it was a cool concept for a movie that really was ahead of its time, honestly.
Yeah, you could say that.
And something that I think a lot of horror directors now would have a field day with. So, yeah, Brain Scan is my pick.
From the same director as Marilyn the Untold Story. It all comes round in circles.
Since we've already talked about Frank Langella in his many ways on this channel before, now we're going to talk about him in a different way.
And Chris,
Well, I didn't realize that everybody was kind of going with the horror motif.
I mean, I wasn't, but then I thought I might as well.
I don't know. I still feel like yours isn't a horror movie, but I still feel like it fits the tone of the season.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Mine is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Hey.
Yeah, I think it's totally
from 1985. And I know Summer School was a bitch to find because it wasn't streaming. You could find Pee-wee's Big Adventure on HBO Max.
Right. So the poll is up. Now I need to scroll to the top and read it before the poll shows up. Oh, damn it. Can I minimize it? Oh, I can minimize it. Panic. Over. Right. So getting through chat. I have to say we're cutting chat already. Because we've got a fair few comments and whatever. So, you know, feel free to do like short things or whatever, but don't like put in big questions from now on. So, first up, Bry, before he begins his Oscar predictions, let me tell you what happened. I was watching a movie at the time, but minutes after the stream ending, I realised a part of my dream I had the night before warned me about something with myself in the stream. Turned out I missed the stream until the end. Well, to be fair, I did nearly as well. But at the same time, that's creepy. And then if you're wondering, last week I was finally watching two films that I've been procrastinating on for a long time: The Croods: A New Age and Boss Baby Family Business. Is that the Boss Baby 2?
Yes.
Because over here it was just Boss Baby 2. I also watched Minions: Rise of Gru this past week as well. Blu-ray updates, I got Spencer, Lightyear, Raya and the Last Dragon, and finally a Blu-ray of Fury Road that wasn't 4K. So a traditional one. And then the last 2010 movies watched since the last podcast was the Square, the documentary one, not Ruben Östlund's one. If a Tree Falls, a story of the Earth Liberation Front, Hell and Back Again, and The Salt of the Earth.
Me and Owen have a lot of opinions on Hell and Back Again.
Yep, we certainly do.
That's gotta be one of the most. I mean, I don't want to. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to trivialize that whole situation and what people go through in that situation. But I swear that has to be one of the most staged-looking documentaries I've ever seen.
Right, so before I get to the actual predictions, I'll just go through the other stuff. Spencer has in, did AJ remove The Voyeurs with Sydney Sweeney?
Say that again?
Did you review I think it was The Voyeurs? The Sydney Sweeney thing on Amazon?
No, I'm not entirely sure what that is.
With Sydney Sweeney and Justice Smith.
I don't think I've seen anything Sydney Sweeney since The White Lotus.
Oh. It's a very 90s-esque. It's very sort of Basic Instinct.
That sounds like it.
With added boobage.
As I said, judging by the title, it kind of sounded like Watcher that came out earlier this year that I did talk about, but I don't think I've heard of this other one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very 90s, which for a film in 2021 is weird. Then again, with what Andrew Dominic did with Blonde, I guess the 90s are back, everybody. Spencer also says, favourite Ben Stiller performance? Oh. I mean, if I want to go for the obvious, I think Zoolander is probably peak him, but there's obviously a lot to go on. But I think he did a good job with the Walter Mitty remake as well.
Yeah, because it's tempting to go with something serious like Permanent Midnight or something. But I think I want to say something like Tropic Thunder, probably.
Yeah.
My mind went
White-
to Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
White Goodman.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like
White Goodman, without question.
We've also got favorite Judy Davis performance.
Apart. I know the obvious answers would be like Husbands and Wives and Passage to India and stuff like that, but honestly, I think she's kind of amazing in The Ref, the Dennis Leary Christmas movie. So
I'm trying to think if I've seen anything else with her in it other than The Ref.
Like, yeah, I know I'm sure there's so many that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. I was trying to think of what other Woody Allen movies she was in. Because it might be one of those, but for some reason, despite all of her prestige roles, the first thing I think of is The Ref every time. And I feel like that says something.
It's the Alfred Molina thing all over again.
Yeah.
No matter what he does, no matter where he goes in his storied career, he will always be the Spaniard Maverick to me. If you don't think Maverick is coming to Movie Club at some point in 2023, you're crazy, because it's probably going to happen.
Not the Top Gun one. The other one. So I'm gonna make sure everything.
AJ, there's plenty of options for Woody Allen. I brought up her filmography, actually.
I think she's also in Celebrity,
Yes.
but my
I
memory of
have her.
Celebrity.
God, she's done a ton of Woody Allen movies. I've seen next to none of these, but that's okay. Deconstructing Harry.
List of.
Art and Fink. I know it's not a.
Oh shit! Oh god!
I know it's not a Woody Allen movie, but Martin Fink. So I mean,
Yeah,
That's another one I've seen.
very nice.
Yeah, she was pretty strong in Husbands and Wives as well. I completely forgot she was also in Passage to India.
Yes, I think Husbands and Wives and Passage to India are her Oscar nominations, aren't there? Are those the only two?
Sounds about right. Oh, she was in Who Dares Wins, the SAS film, which just was crazy. That was on at like 10 or 11 o'clock practically every 3 months on British television, just because it was like, yeah, it's a 90-minute thing that's like very 80s. I think it was like the British trying to do sort of like crazy 80s stuff, and just because it was based on the Iranian embassy siege from like 80s, which is one of the iconic sort of like crazy terrorist moments over here. Of which is, I completely forgot she was. All I remember is the guy from the guy from The Professionals, Lewis Collins, being in it. I don't remember her being in it. Probably because it was so macho. It was like, there's women in it? Favorite De Niro performance from the 2000s onward?
Ooh.
I hate to be derivative, but Meet the Parents comes to mind again.
Hold on.
Silver Linings Playbook definitely jumps out.
100%.
I know there's more options than people are probably thinking. because he didn't go as off the map as I think people like to build up that he did in this era.
I don't know. His performance as Captain Shakespeare in Stardust
Yeah.
was off the map.
Yeah.
Given that was like nearly the same year as Good Shepherd.
I talked about recently mine and Owen's experience seeing Everybody's Fine, which is actually when you get past that movie not being at all what it was advertised to be, it's definitely a solid performance from him.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like Silver Linings is the one that jumps out the most, unless I'm really forgetting a big one.
I mean, I'm not gonna.
Stop. When we say 2000s, is it 2000 and forward or 2000 to 2009?
I would say probably since the 2000s.
So the obvious answer is The Irishman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I should have said first. Especially like the last hour or so is like the last hour or so of The Irishman is probably some of the best stuff De Niro's done in his whole career. So that's clearly the answer if we're going the whole 22 years.
I'm still gonna go with Silver Linings Playbook, but The Irishman is a solid choice. Joker is definitely up there too.
Yeah, I do wish he had more screen time.
I 100% agree.
I feel like he could have had a lot more fun with that.
Somehow, if he played it, the thing would have been really more fascinating with it is if he played it Rupert Pipkin-esque, like as if it was an actual follow-up, and it was like somehow he actually did get a TV show. Spencer's created a new game. Pick the second and third place of a certain Oscar year.
Okay.
So for 91, we're starting with this one. We have Bugsy, Beauty and the Beast, JFK, and Prince of Tides.
Is this what we personally would pick after Silence of the Lambs,
yeah, I think so,
or what we think? Okay. Oh man.
What were the options again?
Bugsy, Beauty and the Beast, JFK, and Prince of Tides.
I'd probably go second Beauty and the Beast, third JFK.
That's where I was headed, but I was wondering if it was in that order or not. But it's definitely down to those two.
Yeah.
No offense to Bugsy and Prince of Tides, but I mean, we're reaching some pretty high heights with Beauty and the Beast and JFK.
Yeah, I'd probably put JFK ahead personally, but it's a coin toss between the two of them for second and third.
I mean, I'm positive there were reasons to give picture to Beauty and the Beast, and I'm sure a lot of people did when they did their Oscar ballots. So it's clearly number 2, and JFK would be number 3.
For Best Actress, we have Sarandon and Gina Davis for Thelma and Louise, Bette Midler for The Boys, and Laura Dern for Ramblin' Rose.
It's a good lineup, but it's definitely the movie really needs a rewatch from me, but as of right now, I would say Sarandon Davis.
I'll probably go with that order as well.
I might switch those.
Yeah, again, it's probably
I want to point out that Dern and Midler are great, but I don't feel like they're near as memorable.
Especially since Thelma and Louise themselves are kind of a pop culture icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and admittedly, I actually didn't see Rambling Rose until like 3 years ago, maybe. I was like really late to the Rambling Rose game.
And then Spencer randomly jumps to editing.
Ooh.
So
What
we
the
have
heck?
The Commitments, The Silence of the Lambs, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Thelma and Louise.
Oh, fuck. That's a beautiful lineup.
I can't remember what won. Oh,
JFK.
okay.
As it should.
Yeah. No way it wasn't going that way. I think I want to say I'm also trying to make sure I remember that the editing specifically, and I'm not just saying my favorite movies because it keeps coming down to that. Like I have it down to T2 and Silence of the Lambs.
Same.
Yeah, probably that T2 Silence of the Lambs. But that's an amazing lineup.
I would also probably switch those.
Yeah, Silence of the Lambs really deserved it just for the fake out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me wants to actually say Silence of the Lambs and The Commitments, but like that's tough to try and work out because it could also be Thelma and Louise and Terminator 2. That's a
Yeah.
those four in JFK. That was a very strong year on editing.
Yeah.
Right, so now I've got to try and
Man, 1991 bringing it.
hop through the chat to get all of Bry's Oscar predictions. So, adapted screenplay. Bry has All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, She Said, and Women Talking. For original screenplay, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere, Fabelmans, Tar, and Turning Red.
Interesting.
Supporting actress, Jessie Buckley for Women Talking, Kerry Condon for Banshees, Claire Foy for Women Talking, Stephanie Sue for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Samantha Morton for She Said.
And I've been seeing Condom being thrown around. I've been wondering if I'm underestimating, but I kind of felt like if I put her in, I would have been going too hard on Banshees of Inisherin, so I backed off a little bit.
Supporting actor, Brendan Gleeson for Banshees, Judd Hirsch for Fabelmans, Kei Hui Kwan in his lead performance, according to AJ. I'm just reading what's said there. For Everything Everywhere. Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, and Ben Whishaw for Women Talking. For actress, Naomi Aki for I Want to Dance with Somebody, Kate Blanchett for Tar, Daniel Debweiler for Till, Zoe Kazan for She Said, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere. For actor, Colin Farrell for Banshees, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Song Kang-ho for Broker, Bill Nighy for Living, and Jim Parsons for Spoiler Alert. Director, Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front, The Daniels for Everything Everywhere, Spielberg for Fabelmans, Joseph Kosinski for Top Gun Maverick, and Sarah Polley for Women Talking. Bryce 10 for Best Picture, All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees, Everything Everywhere, Fabelmans, Del Toro's Pinocchio. I like the fact we have to say that. She Said, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, and still my picture frontrunner, Women Talking.
Definitely fingers crossed on the Joseph Kosinski thing. I don't see it happening right now, but oh my god, I would jump through the roof if it did. So let's hope that it
We'll see how it
does.
rolls. Josephine says, hey, Popcast team, just finished reading The Haunting of Grade 3 for spooky season. Rest in peace as well to Sasheen Littlefeather. Let's salute her activism for and contribution to the Native American community. She won a Miss American Vampire contest in 1970.
Yeah, I want to make it. I want to make it known real quick. Owen just did something, and I laughed, at exactly the time you were saying that we lost her, and I didn't want it to look like.
Help.
How eerie is the time? I heard that her health wasn't very good, but it still feels like really eerie timing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially, you know, when she was just getting sort of her recognition and all the stories came out about how John Wayne wanted to, like, murder her practically.
Because my brother was the one that told me the news, and I was like, surely you misread something. I mean, she's been in the news lately, so surely you just misread something.
Well, we've got you here, and because it's all that me and Chris could talk about while everybody was still getting in. Thoughts on Emancipation coming out, AJ?
I made it clear through that whole thing that I was on Chris Rock's side. But I do also feel like we can probably move on, right?
Hopefully.
I mean, I've been making it clear. All I want in my life is Bad Boys 4. So if Emancipation coming out gets us closer to Bad Boys 4, then let's do it. It'll just be really awkward if he's super Oscar worthy.
Yeah, that'll be the awkward bit. It's like
it'll be like the ultimate will they won't they.
This mysterious
remember,
figure in sort of one of those sort of like onesies that you have when you want to do green screen and be invisible. That will just show up on stage with the other three producers when it wins Best Picture.
And it would also be like, do we nominate the guy that got in serious trouble here last year? Kind of has echoes of when, speaking of Sachin Littlefeather, when Brando won for The Godfather, and he essentially said, "Go fuck yourselves," and then they nominated him again the very next year.
I told you this earlier when you were here. Will Smith committed an assault on national television, and that's how it should be treated.
Yeah. So does that mean? So what does that? So are you?
It means Will Smith needs to go away for a little bit because actions need to have consequences.
But at the same time, how many people worked on Emancipation?
Yeah, I mean that's what we addressed. You know, Anton Fuqua has directed it. Somebody's written it. The only, you know, Robert Richardson's doing cinematography.
Billionaire Boys Club, All the Money in the World, Leonard Six. How many people worked on those?
I mean, I'd probably say the same thing. All those other people did. No, what the big example you need to give there is the Gore Vidal movie that never came out.
Following on Littlefeather, taught in traditional Indian medicine program at St. Mary's Hospital in Tucson, and wrote a health column for the Kiowa paper in, I guess that's Oklahoma. Josephine also has finally watched RRR with her mum on Saturday. Both loved it. It was over the top, ridiculous in the best way possible. Action, drama, music, dance, romance. And apparently the director, S.S. Rajamouli, is married to the costume designer. You see. So it's going to sweep all the awards at whatever the Bollywood equivalent of the Oscars is.
By the way, I have to add a little something to what I just said. What's really weird about this is everything I just said about Brando, in my mind, I was actually thinking about George C. Scott, but both of those happened. So where they won, and then they said go fuck yourself, and then they got nominated again the next year. It happened to both of them in the span of like 3 years.
Birthdays today from Josephine, Denis Villeneuve, Clive Owen, Sean William Scott, Neve Campbell, Alicia Vikander, and Cheyenne Sosamon.
Wow, where's she been?
God.
I think the last thing I saw her in was Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
The only thing I think I've ever seen her in is that and Rules of Attraction.
A Knight's Tale?
Yeah, Knight's Tale, and I think she's in that shitty Josh Hartnett movie, 40 Days and 40 Nights. I think that was her too.
Oh.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, yeah, is it sort of like that period in the 2000s that sounds like she'd probably be in a lot.
Would you show some chill, please?
Also, Greg Fraser, the cinematographer that normally works with Villeneuve, has his birthday today. So,
okay.
Weird it's the same day, but...
Take a walk.
Her latest film is a Mexican-American action thriller called There Are No Saints, of which he isn't even like... I see Jose Maria Yapzik, Ron Perlman, Paz Vega, Tim Roth, Neil McDonough. I mean, if Neil McDonough is in it, it's, theatres and VOD.
I was going to say, that just by the title, I was going to say, that sounds very straight to video.
Oh, and Sinister 2.
Huh.
Ruined everything.
Oh god, she was one of the voices of... I can't remember what character that was in Hitman Absolution, but she was in Hitman Absolution. What the hell? Josephine says, in honour of his birthday, favourite Clive Owen performance?
International. I'm going to stick with that forever.
Man, it was going to be like, man, what Clive Owen movies are there? And then, like, 3 amazing performances just hit me all at once, and I got to decide between them.
I'm trying to decide between Children of Men and Inside Man.
Yeah, I was thinking those 2 and Closer were what came to mind.
Closer.
I might have to say Inside Man.
That's where I'm leaning to.
But Children of Men and Closer are really, really close there.
Sin City's really solid too.
Oh yeah, I love the delivery of "I'm Shelley's new boyfriend and I'm out of my mind."
Enough, please.
I'd probably go with Children of Men, but also shout out to his supporting role in Bourne Identity and Gosford Park, and arguably the film that sort of launched his career, Croupier.
I was just about to say Croupier, yeah.
And he wasn't too bad in Green Fingers, from what I remember as well, which was like
the movie is not fantastic, but I'll Sleep When I'm Dead came to mind too. I feel like that was one of those movies that like really utilized like his presence well, if nothing else.
I vaguely remember enjoying Shoot 'Em Up, but I don't know why.
Oh yeah,
because it's a fucking cartoon.
Yeah, he's fine in Shoot 'Em Up, but Paul Giamatti owns that movie.
Yeah, Shoot 'Em Up was basically the not John Woo film.
Yeah.
It was very John Woo inspired. Spencer talks about, I'll find any reason to talk about the witches. Favourite witches scene in the movie. I love it when Angelica Houston first arrives and how elegant and sophisticated and mysterious she is. She walks like she owns the room and demands respect. You see what you did, Anne Hathaway? You see what you did?
That entrance is the perfect contrast to when she takes her face off.
I think that is the sort of most iconic bit of the film. Really, that's my favourite scene where everybody sort of unveils themselves.
I have a lighter one and then a darker one. Pretty much any moment I was gonna single out Bette Midler, but let's be real. Just any scene involving the Sanderson sisters in the first Hocus Pocus is up there. But for a darker one, I absolutely love more than anything that shot at the beginning of The Witch after she's covered herself in the baby blood, and then we see her rising against the moon. Might be my favorite witch shot from any witch movie.
I would say we're doing favorite witch scenes, right?
Oh,
From any
Jesus
movie.
Christ. Hold on. Before you say anything, every single scene involving the Wicked Witch of the West is number one. By the way,
I was gonna say the Wicked Witch of the West's first scene.
in Munchkin Land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, probably second would be the Witches of Eastwick when they start battling Jack Nicholson and putting him through hell.
Yeah, that's why I forget how wild that movie is. I also keep forgetting it's a George Miller movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Jack Nicholson should come out of retirement and be in the next Mad Max movie.
Holy fuck! And he should definitely be an Immortan Joe-esque villain.
Yes, 100%.
Holy fuck! I suddenly really want that.
I know. Jack needs to come back anyway. Jack cannot go out on How Do You Know? He can't go out on that. The movie's fine, but he can't go out on that. If anything, I think a fitting end to his career would have been Frank Costello. I'd have been happy if it ended there.
Speaking of Shelley Sossamon, thoughts on Knight's Tale and Rules of Attraction?
I'll go first on this one because I never get to answer questions because I usually don't know what you guys are talking about. But I remember the Rules of Attraction. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember it being really weird, but I was into how weird it was.
Yeah.
And A Knight's Tale is a lot of fun. I love the characters. I love how he interacts with them. But definitely my favorite character is probably Paul Bettany.
The only bit I vividly remember about Rules of Attraction is it was one of those trailers that was on the DVDs that they gave out at the cinema, showcasing like stuff that's either coming to home media or, you know, because I think it was a collaboration with HMV and, as it was at the time, UGC cinemas. I just remember it, and like the end of a trailer where it's like, you know, Richard, will you leave a table? And he's just there, and it's like, it's Dick.
That's a great character, by the way.
And then she says something else, and then he goes, well, fuck you.
I will say this too: the Rules of Attraction did a hell of a lot better by Patrick Bateman than American Psycho 2 did.
Yeah.
and that's coming from a movie where the scene with Patrick Bateman is literally he's off screen on the phone.
It's always hard to adapt Bret Easton Ellis stuff, you know. Less Than Zero was crazy. I think, other than, you know, American Psycho, that's the one that sort of really got to the heart of how crazy Bret writes.
Yeah,
I'll always go to bat for American Psycho. American Psycho is one of those movies I watch every year.
I was basically just gonna say, I never got I think I've seen A Knight's Tale all the way through once, and it was one of those movies that everybody was always telling me how amazing it was, and I just could not get into it. And even I kind of like the Golden Years scene, where they use like the modern song, but and I know that's kind of the ongoing thing, but I don't know, just I wasn't really that into it. Rules of Attraction, I feel like needs a whole video. there's so much. To narrow it down, I will say I love seeing such a dark side to James Van Der Beek.
Are you swimming in possible movie club waters here?
We very well could, because I would love to get everybody's fresh opinions on it. And obviously, if anybody knows me, they'll know if there's one negative takeaway from the Rules of Attraction, it's that the opening scene is my worst enemy. And the scene is disturbing enough as it is, but it's also one of maybe the worst vomit scenes I've ever seen. So there's that.
Having now
But
seen seen the trailer for Triangle of Sadness, I don't know how you're gonna watch that, AJ.
That's what Owen was telling me.
Yeah,
and I'm living here.
The trailer is ridiculous.
Josephine says first time watcher since last time, other than summer school. Under Siege 1, I guess that is. Altered State, and 1983's The Hunger.
I only just saw The Hunger for the first time last year.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Speaking of Bowie, by the way.
I love Tommy Lee Jones in Under Siege.
Good.
Man, what fun is he?
Some Altered States.
If I have my ears right, that's on the heels of playing Sam Gerard, is it not?
It was the same director, Andrew Davis, and it was the year before. It was Under Siege, then The Fugitive right after.
I mean, since watching the movie last week, I mean, Bowie's been stuck in my head like constantly lately.
I've only got
especially specific on Licorice Pizza, but that's pretty obvious if you know me.
We've only got 5 years.
So freaking good, Ashley.
Please tell me that features in Moon Age.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good.
No, it's not. Not
God.
for good reason. No, it's not.
I know, but no, but just like I think that's arguably his most iconic song that doesn't get a lot of airplay.
I don't know how it doesn't. After Licorice Pizza came out, I mean, that trailer was everywhere for the longest time.
I mean, that was but that's Life on Mars.
Yes.
I'm talking about the opening track from Ziggy Stardust.
I believe it's either midway or the begin. It's either the beginning or the midway point.
Yeah, because the ones that get the airplay is Ziggy.
Yep.
Life on Mars.
Yeah.
Suffragette City and Rock and Roll Suicide at the end. Altered States trivia. The film debut of William Hurt and Drew Barrymore. Ken Russell objecting to Paddy Chayefsky's interference had the writer banned from set. Chayefsky reportedly tried to have Russell removed, but by then the film was already underway. Enough. In his autobiography, Ken Russell claimed he tried psychedelic-inducing magic mushrooms during the making, which resulted in a bad trip. He was often drunk on set too. Ken Russell.
that makes a lot of sense.
How the shit did he do Billion Dollar Brain? As of July 17th, 2017, why 5 years ago? Altered States is the only film that was been filmed in the Bronx Zoo. Under Siege is celebrating its 30th anniversary this coming Sunday, the 9th. This month also sees the 30th anniversary of Spotswood, Candyman, the original Mighty Ducks, and Man Bites Dog. Or in the case of AEW, Man Bites Man. Over Dog. Steven Seagal doesn't have his signature ponytail Under Siege because the Navy doesn't allow it to be hair longer than 4 inches. Yes! We found a way to get rid of the ponytail. I'm pretty sure it was there for 2 because he was supposed to be off duty. So, he found a way to write it in and put him out. The ponytail was staying on. Damn it.
Speaking of ponytails, I have a quick little anecdote. Oh, and it was funny. 2 weeks ago when we did Penn and Teller Get Killed, literally the night after that, I was watching TBS waiting for Dynamite to start, and Penn and Teller popped up in Young Sheldon. Literally the next night.
I do want to throw out the extreme irony that they could have had anybody in the world to do Fool Us, but of all people to tie into me even further, they chose Allison Hannigan.
Oh no.
Dude, I started there a while back. I started watching Fool Us videos on YouTube, and I got straight up addicted to it. I think I watched that whole damn show just in YouTube videos.
Under Siege is one of 3 movies with the goal to hold a fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The other 2 being Executive Decision from '96 and Machete, despite barely being in them.
Yeah, I don't care for Machete.
Maybe there's a correlation there.
Yeah, I don't care for Machete, but I honestly don't mind Under Siege 2. I feel like Eric Bogosian was actually a nice follow-up to Tommy Lee Jones, and I love that that's how we can pretty much judge the Under Siege movies, because who's actually judging them by Seagal?
I mean, wasn't basically Under Siege 2 to some extent like Death Train?
There was definitely death on a train. I'm not sure.
Death Train was the one with Pierce Brosnan, right?
I'm not sure that title's familiar to me.
Oh, is it another one that had a different title?
Hold on.
When I think of Pierce Brosnan and trains, I think of GoldenEye.
What year is this, Ashley?
Good question. 90s. It's just before GoldenEye.
No, that's not it. I see the word Death Train, and I nope.
I know.
Pierce Brosnan.
I think it was him.
That's helpful.
No, but it's one of those like, it's one of those films that was on the bloody like double-sided DVDs, like was dirt cheap.
Yeah, there's nothing like you said before GoldenEye.
I think so. But...
Hold on.
It's like surely post Bond, he wouldn't be making movies called Death Train.
Oh, in America it was known as Detonator. It was a TV movie.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. No, it's I see it under his death. I see it under his Death Train. It also had Patrick Stewart, Ted Levine, and Christopher Lee in it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's right.
That's a pretty good cast for a movie called Death Train.
Yes, it's based on the book too, apparently.
The more you know.
And of course, it was on the USA Network in the '90s. So there you go.
I also like the fact it says Pierce Brosnan and Alexander Paul return for the sequel Detonator 2: Night Watch, which I've never seen because I didn't know it existed.
We'll get there.
I know of Death Train. Night Watch never showed up. I thought Night Watch was in 2007 Russian vampire thing.
There's the Russian thing, and then there's the Ewan McGregor movie at the morgue.
Yep.
Oh god, yeah, as well.
That Russian vampire movie is badass, though. I just have to throw that out there.
It's a new.
I think it was closer to 2004 or 2005. But
Death Train has a nuclear bomb on a train.
Again with the Death Train,
Which I don't think was exactly. I'm trying to remember what the. Was it just a runaway train, basically? Under Siege? No, Under Siege 2 was the ship, right? Or am I thinking the other way around?
The ship's the first one, the train's the second one. and Bogosian was like a computer-based terrorist or something. I can't remember what the train had to do with the computer terrorism, but apart from being the location.
Spencer asks thoughts on Red River from 1948.
I feel like it definitely needs a rewatch from me because I remember mainly watching it for Cliff. I think what happened there was for some reason I guess we're somewhat circling back around to Sachin Littlefeather again. I don't know if I was burned out or what, but I remember just not really being into John Wayne at the time that I saw it, which is a really weird time to see Red River. And I remember that kind of making me indifferent to it outside of Clift. So I think I'm definitely going to need to see it again at some point. To like really
the only Red River I've seen is the River of Slime in Ghostbusters 2.
You've seen the very end of Red River because that's the movie they're watching in the Last Picture Show.
Okay.
Red River Valley from Voices of Liberty.
I first had the reference to it in the Clash song. I'm trying to remember what it was called. The Right Stuff or something like that. All I remember is like the first lyrics. It was like, "Hey, where have I seen this guy? In Red River, or A Place in the Sun. Maybe the Misfits, or From Here to Eternity." I think it was playing off the fact of the way that he died. Or no, was it supposed to be basically he became so drunk or drug-addled? It was like, "That's Montgomery Clift, honey," or whatever. All I remember is Nembutal numbs it all, but I prefer alcohol.
Whatever this is sounds like it's in very poor taste.
It's the Clash. What do you expect? It's the London Calling album. It was like 13 years. Well, no, maybe 14, 15 years after he died. Well, what I like about it is it's like John Wayne, probably John Wayne's first playing co-fiddle. You know, he wasn't like just the main lead. It was sort of like evenly him and, because I think this was what a few years before him and Glenn Campbell. Because I think that was 50s, right? Which crossover would you rather see, Josephine asks? Under Siege crossing over with Pirates of the Caribbean, or Under Siege crossing over with Master and Commander?
Pirates already has enough energy by itself, so I would probably say Master and Commander.
God, that Standy was annoying.
It does feel like Under Siege and Master and the Commander crossover would basically just be like an updated version of Mutiny on the Bounty, or something like that.
Could you? I don't
know if it's because I was a little tired when I first watched Master and Commander, but I feel like watching Master and Commander for me was the equivalent of taking an Ambien.
Oh, wow! This is news to me. I was under the impression you were a fan. That's interesting.
I don't really remember much about it.
Do you remember much Peter Weir stuff? Because to be fair, a lot of Peter Weir stuff was somewhat rambling.
Yeah, because I marathoned Weir maybe mid last year, and there was some stuff that really grew on me. Like Gallipoli was a lot more memorable this time, and I learned that I love the Mosquito Coast. when I didn't really think much of it the first time, but I really loved it this time. And honestly, I found that anytime I watch Master and Commander, I can't seem to retain it.
I'm probably
And
only
I feel like I'm definitely missing something. It could also just be that it's not my preferred genre. But I know that I don't quite remember it, so I desperately want to ask Owen more about the standee.
And I remember it like being like a ship, and the thing was ginormous, and it took like 4 people to put together.
I remember that.
Yup.
Because I remember I tried to make a play to get the ship, and it didn't work out.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell I would have done with it, but it would have been fun to have. But no, I don't remember much about the movie. I remember it being a nice looking movie, like it was nice to look at and it was shot well, but just the plot escapes me.
Ah, you say the same thing about 1917.
I like the fact that I can't remember what film it was, but sort of akin to who is it that does all the rip-off films? I've had a brain fart on. Asylum. There was one which was like 1916, or they stylized the packaging so it was just a rip-off of 1917. I don't think it was Dunkirk, but it may have been something like that when they tried it. We talked before about Ke Huy Quan being frauded into lead for the Globe's comedy or musical, but I wonder if Gleeson could follow that same path as well.
Yeah, because the Globes put them both in for Bruges in leading, so I could probably see that happening.
Yeah, there's a potential. From what I've heard, Colin is the more leading performance, because it mainly revolves around him and his reactions to Gleeson. So at this point, I want to split them though, because with how somewhat weak the male front looks, if they split it like that, they might win both awards. I know McDonough and Sir have confirmed Banshees is original, but do you think there's any possibility that somehow could be frauded into adapted?
I hope not. We've already have enough problems.
I don't
we just
think
start
so. Of course, there probably won't be any WGA precedent, because I don't think McDonough is WGA member. At least from what I remember about 3 Billboards and not being in there.
So it's basically what we started off saying is it's going to be Moonlight all over again. We're not going to know what category it's in until like probably the last minute, and it'll continuously switch throughout the season.
Josephine hopes so, because she can't take the adapted category being so weak. Martin McDonough having animals in his films ranging from donkeys to shih tzus to deers. He should make a movie from an animal's point of view like Babe, but obviously dark.
I could totally see him doing that, come to think of it.
It does seem like something that, if he could, he would. Spencer asks thoughts on...
He should redo like 7 Psychopaths with just like 7 different predators.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
The Jaguar. Thoughts on a couple of other 1948 films, The Snake Pit and The Red Shoes.
The Red Shoes is definitely one of those movies that's most memorable for how it looks.
Yeah, cinematography is exceptional on that.
Yeah. I remember The Snake Pit being very... I'm trying to think of the right word here. Like, melodramatic, I guess. But it's like one of those movies that feels like it was made specifically to be an acting showcase.
I'm
I think
trying
that
to
was my main
remember
takeaway.
what won that year, because it was another case where de Havilland got passed over, I think. Let's have a quick check.
Was that the year of Johnny Belinda? I think
That
it
was Jane Wyman for Johnny Belinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Beating out Ingrid Bergman for Joan of Arc, Irene Dunne for I Remember Mama, and Barbara Stanwyck for Sorry Wrong Number. So it was only The Heiress the year after that Olivia finally got her second Oscar. Because, yeah, To Each His Own was her first in 1946.
Yeah.
Buy one, rent one, lose one. Films that take place in a day.
Ooh.
So we've got Dog Day Afternoon, High Noon, 12 Angry Men, It's a Mad World, Rat Race, Run Lola Run, Training Day, Collateral, Hitchcock's Rope, Falling Down, Empire Records, Kids, and 200 Cigarettes.
Oh, God. There's so many I like in that lineup.
Well, I know a lot of people personally that actually really dig it. But I can pretty much say with these that I'm taking 200 Cigarettes out.
Oh. Blasphemy.
Oh my god. Collateral is at the top for me.
It's so good.
Yeah, I don't want to leave out 12 Angry Men at all. There's a couple of other things I didn't want to leave out at all, but honestly, I feel like I don't even have to think about the fact that my top two there are Collateral and Training Day. Because if we had gotten to expand our top movies, both of those would have been there.
I'm gonna have to agree.
In that order.
Although of all things, one of the ones I was considering keeping was Rat Race. I have my reasons.
I guess because I hadn't heard of it before, I will also have to say 200 Cigarettes. Well, I don't think it really got over here. At least that I don't recognise it, which says a lot because Kids I shouldn't recognise, but I saw that when they randomly had it on maybe only one time, late night on Channel 4, because
Yep, we did that in the States too.
I heard a lot of interesting things about it. Maybe 10 years ago-ish. I probably buy 12 Angry Men and rent Collateral because it's shown on TV a lot. I would also, I'm trying to remember, is Phone Booth a day film as well?
Phone Booth goes the extra mile. Phone Booth's in real time, mostly.
Yeah.
Like when it cuts to him on I guess a mild spoiler here, I guess. When it cuts to him on the stretcher, I think is the only time we lose time in the movie.
I'm trying to think. The other one would have been
Come on, Stuart.
The only other film that I remember, 88 Minutes was like nearly real time. Because I think that was only about 90 something minutes long.
I believe 12 Angry Men and Rope are real time, aren't they?
12 Angry Men, I think, is. I don't know whether it's consistently one shot. Rope has got the split in between. You know, when the body gets put in the chest, and then the other bit is actually, you know, where they do the cut, 1917 style.
We're intended. This is what I meant with phone booth too. We're intended to like.
Oh yeah.
Like what we was intended to be in real time.
Yeah. And then I guess, what was that bloody foreign film? Victoria?
Oh yeah.
That was just shot from her. Well, basically like, but it was like Resident Evil 4, this third person behind the shoulder and like.
Yeah, that movie was. I know people. That movie was way overkill on the one take thing. Like I get why it's an accomplishment, but that did not need to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. That was just, hey, let's see how long we can make this go.
Just trying to quickly bring up the page for this because I don't know the nominations off the top of my head. Did the right film win Best Picture in '81 for Chariots of Fire?
Owen, did you do the buy one rent one?
Oh right, sorry.
Just call me Mr. Cellophane. I'll stand here. It's okay with my Frankie. Yeah. Oh my God! Just knocked a bunch of stuff.
Sorry, I've got so many windows that I'm having to switch to. It's like.
Because you were mentioning kids having the disclaimer when it aired. Didn't Bully have the same disclaimer as well?
Anything Larry Clark related that's aired on television has had a disclaimer on it. I don't know what. I guess I'd get rid of Rat Race because it's a poor man's Cannonball Run.
I mean, it's a poor man world as well. To be fair.
I guess I would buy. Yeah, might as well. Let's rent Collateral and buy Kids.
I feel like Kids will be your top one.
Kids is definitely easily.
Though then again, does it completely count? Because we do see the next morning.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, then again, though, is the opening scene with Telly might be like the afternoon, so it might technically be 24 hours still.
I think it's still 24 hours.
I was trying to think if the original Halloween would fall in that 24-hour thing too.
Here's the thing: I don't deal in things that are not listed when they give options. So I'm trying to stay away from doing that because I want to go with what was provided instead of adding to it, because that would mean more stuff to run through my head, and I don't need that right now.
I would say Halloween's probably about 24 hours, but that's if you cut the opening out.
Where's
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 81, Chariots of Fire. Did it deserve to win Best Picture? It was up against Atlantic City on Golden Pond, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Reds.
I think I'd have to go on Golden Pond.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think I have a soft spot for On Golden Pond that might be answering. I wouldn't say Raiders.
No.
Which I'm sure most people probably would. Atlantic City's really good too, and kind of overlooked. Actually, most of Louis Masse' filmography is beloved in certain circles, but kind of overlooked when you look at like the directors that are considered legendary.
Where's Pumpkin Lord?
I probably British skew. I'd probably go with Chariots of Fire. But you know, On Golden Pond would be a good close second for me.
Here we go.
To be honest, I'm surprised that Raiders made it in there. I'm so used to the Oscars being highbrow and they actually put it in.
I think Spielberg got in too that year.
Yeah, for director.
So they went pretty well into it. By the way, I don't want to disregard Reds, because Reds is very good, but just Reds is also kind of exhausting. So.
Spencer also says Ordinary People versus Raging Bill for 1980 or something else. I love Melvin and Howard. Don't discredit Elephant Man.
Yeah,
Elephant Man
honestly,
was really good as well.
Yeah, I think honestly, at the end of the day, I did. Obviously, it's controversial to say anything bad about Raging Bull, but while I loved Raging Bull the first time I saw it, and I was a kid the first time I saw Raging Bull, the the next couple of times I saw Raging Bull, it didn't resonate as much for a reason I can't quite pinpoint. And honestly, I've always been okay with Ordinary People's win. And Ordinary People, I feel like, is a movie that only gets better to me. So I would. It's been a long time. I would like to watch Raging Bull like now and see if I can find my love and appreciation for it again. But right now, I would say I would probably give it to Ordinary People. Though the Elephant Man would definitely be there also. I'd say the Elephant Man before I'd say Raging Bull.
Is the stuntman any good? I'm seeing the fact that got nominated for Best Actor for Peter O'Toole and Best Director, and also for Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good, but I do like it on like a technical front. I do remember that, and O'Toole just like ruled parts like that.
I also do like the fact that on the Wikipedia page it says in the opening paragraph before you even get to the contents, as O'Toole remarked in a DVD audio commentary, this film wasn't released, it escaped.
That's amazing.
Which movie horse would win in a horse race? So we got Bullseye from Toy Story, Black Beauty from Black Beauty, Spirit from the various Spirit films, Seabiscuit, Secretariat, Warhorse, or or fuck it, the zebra from Racing Stripes.
I am going to say Bullseye because animation knows no bounds.
Yeah.
I have an answer to this, and AJ, I think knows where I'm going with this. I know I just had this diatribe about saying I want to stick with the choices given. Not here. Here's Dawn.
Say that again.
My answer is Dawn.
That is John Candy and Hot to Trot.
Yes, it is. I feel that Dawn would do whatever it took in order to be able to win said horse race. Because I know Dawn is very persuasive, and he could persuade them to job and let him win, and then split the money.
I mean, if we're gonna be putting stuff in that isn't in the list, the donkey with headphones, he kept walking. He kept walking. Look at him with them headphones. He's just walking. He's walking. He's talking.
But on my answer, I guess I could have also said Spirit for animated, but who cares about Spirit? Do you know anybody?
The ones that were trying to watch it when Unfaithful started. Yeah.
Wow. Did Dream Horse come out with you guys last year or not?
I can't forget about that. That was just too good.
Did Dream Horse come out last year for you guys? The British film?
I think so.
with Toni Collette.
I remember seeing that somewhere in a theater.
I remember reading a description and going, "Wow, that doesn't sound interesting at all," and I don't think I ever heard about it again. It was released, like it was made and then came out? 'Cause I think
Well, it did over here. It's like a walk like a panther situation. Did it reach over to America because it was too British?
Brother, did you have a horse answer?
I would probably also go with Bullseye. No, I'll go with Seabiscuit because Seabiscuit's trained for it,
I mean,
and it's because Toby can't see out there, according to the trailer.
I would say Warhorse, but it needed a lot of human help throughout its life.
All I gotta say is, if it's Warhorse, I hope he moves faster than the movie felt like it did.
There is a reason we call it Warhorse.
I took personally to calling it Warhorse.
Yeah. There's not a lot of Spielberg bashing on this channel.
Nope.
But Warhorse will take us there.
Yes, 100%.
Given what I
So
heard,
what? It's pretty much Warhorse or 1941.
Yeah, that might be it. There's a siren right outside the...
It's somebody. Spielberg sent somebody.
No, I think
given
I think they finally decided to come get him.
given what I heard from Adam from your movie sucks, some people might feel the same way about Fabelmans.
Hey, now, there's only one time that Warhorse is relevant. When he rules ass.
I'm expecting Spielberg to pop in your window holding his 2 Oscars like an Austin Powers and says, "Well, my friends here think Warhorse is pretty good."
I thought you were going to say the actual original stage production, but then I found out that the musicians that play the music in that didn't get considered as actors for the play, so they got paid less. So
I may be in the minority here, and I haven't watched a lot of the movies. I'm just going on posters and clips that I've seen. I'm sorry, unless he's playing Loki or in Kong Skull Island, Tom Hiddleston does nothing for me.
wow.
What about I know you're a Midnight in Paris fan.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, it's been a while though.
Are you saying it's possible he didn't leave an impression with Midnight in Paris? Because
It's
I could
possible
easily...
because I completely forgot he was in it until you said something.
Yeah,
I just think more of Owen Wilson, and mostly I remember that's when I first started liking Corey Stoll.
Yeah, Corey Stoll and Adrian Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Brody had didn't Brody only have the one scene pretty much and made an impact?
I think so.
I
With
believe
Hemingway.
so.
I know it's TV, but Hiddleston in Night Manager is really, really good.
Yeah, I'll throw out Only Lovers Left Alive as well.
Do you like Zoe Saldana better with blue or green skin?
Green.
I mean, we don't see her with blue skin in CGI.
Honestly, she may be the only woman alive that could make both work.
I am thinking of Avatar with blue skin, right? But that's all CGI anyway, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
she is a
her
blue skin.
face is different in Avatar though. She gets to keep her face in Guardians. And which is good 'cause she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, that might be what I'm thinking of when I went green. Was it comes with the real face.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because that's a more memorable performance too.
AJ, you'll have to go back and watch the beginning of this video because I was asked to pitch a film noir idea with Zoe Saldana. You'll have to go back and check that out.
And Shaloub. Never forget
And
the
Shaloub. And Michael Wincott.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I'd watch the hell out of that.
Yeah, the list was Saldana, Omar Sy, Michael Wincott, Shaloub, Storm Reed, and Gabriel LaBelle from Fablemans. Chris did a good pitch.
Thank you.
Josephine says, if you were a teacher, which fictional movie or TV setting would you take your class to on a Halloween trip? The Town of Sleepy Hollow, Twin Peaks, S. Mart from the Evil Dead universe.
Oh.
Are those just examples, or are we picking from those? Because if that's just options, but we could pick something else. Spoilers for tomorrow. I'm picking just for the effect. I'm picking Classroom.
It's another one not from the list, and it's also technically partly real. But sometime in Victorian London, because we've got From Hell, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, I would say my personal choice would be Sleepy Hollow, but if I was doing like an education on film, I'd probably want to do Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm.
The Quick Stop.
I saw people talking about how like it's like kind of a miracle that the Clerks movies exist, because I guess when you go inside the Quick Stop, it's actually fucking tiny. Like the movie actually makes it look bigger than it is.
Oh yeah, totally. You could tell in the documentary. And it's stuck in a time capsule, basically.
I'll tell you a place that I think would be trippy to take somebody for a Halloween thing is Beast Castle.
Yeah.
Actually, why don't we just go old school and just go with the Sawyer House in Texas Chainsaw?
That's a good one too.
Oh my god.
It's not all set in a school, but the area in Japan where Audition happens.
Oh yeah. I don't want to watch that again. Don't ever make me watch that again. Certain things I don't want to watch again. That's one of them.
I had a moment like that. We went Blu-ray shopping while I was down there with my brother, and I found a really nice looking steelbook Blu-ray of Audition, and I had it in my hands, and then I thought, wait a minute, I'm never going to watch this again. So I put it...
I'm that way with Sinister.
I don't blame you on Sinister. That movie is freaky.
Well, the thing... No, that's the other Blumhouse movie. The thing is, also at Halloween Horror Nights. Haha. The funny thing about that is, honestly, is that Sinister... Like I mentioned earlier, I kind of like... AJ heard me say it, I know, because I've scoffed about this many times. Sinister 2 ruined Bagul for me.
Yep.
100%. Because once you know what's going on, not as scary as it was.
Wait, are you trying to tell
AJ
me
knows
that
this
a film
with me.
that
If
had a
it
sequel
involves
didn't need a
ghost
sequel?
children or ghost zombies, I'm out. Like, I will not do ghost children or ghost zombies. Nope, I am running the hell away from that.
Yeah.
I'd rather face Michael Myers head on than a ghost 5-year-old.
Yeah, Bagul is freaky, but the thing in Sinister was the fucking kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that we weren't able to kind of replicate a little bit in the Blumhouse house that we did that year, but not to the extent that we could have. And the home movies, of course, that was the most terrifying thing about Sinister, without question.
Yeah, because if I had a choice, my dog would still be alive and would still be here.
Sure.
With that said, the place where I would have to let him out at night was right next to the open yard, exactly like Ethan Hawke's house.
Oh, Lord.
And there's the actual scene where the dog is outside and Ethan Hawke goes to get him, and all the kids are fucking standing there. that movie made taking the dog out a fucking nightmare.
I remember watching the Blair Witch Project the first time, and we came back from the theater. And it was late. And me and my friend at the time were going up the stairs to my old apartment, and sure enough, my stairs have this wonderful motion lighting. So all of a sudden, it's like dark outside. The next thing you know, we're like all like freaked out and everything, and then we run up the stairs, and bam, the light hits us, and I was, oh god, no, let's get inside now, run! There's the door.
In SpongeBob, the name of the grocery store is Bargain Mart. Would you rather go to Bargain Mart or S Mart?
Which one is S Mart?
That is Evil Dead.
Evil Dead.
Shop Smart.
Oh,
Shop
right.
S Mart.
I don't know. I don't. They're both pretty much just regular stores. They don't, as far as I remember. I guess it's a matter of who you'd run into there.
I want to crisscross them. I want SpongeBob to go to S Mart and then have to go back to the Evil Dead cabin. I want to see SpongeBob react to the raping tree.
Oh my god.
How about Patrick's reaction?
What do you mean reaction? Patrick's the one getting it.
I thought you were going to say SpongeBob because, like, all the various porous holes in the sponge.
Oh.
So many
Oh, man.
holes, so little time. Hi, kids. Please tell me we can put this for YouTube, kid.
And just for the record, in this universe, Squidward playing his clarinet is what awakens the Deadites.
That makes sense. I can imagine that.
Josephine also says, I'm surprised they haven't made a team-up movie with cereal box characters. The Kellogg's Cinematic Universe, Captain Crunch, the Honey Nut Cheerios Bee, Tony the Tiger, Snap, Crackle and Pop.
Food Fight might have killed that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say, would this be live action or animated? Because if honestly, live action sounds like a disaster, but I could almost kind of imagine something like Monster Squad-esque if they tried it live action.
Are we talking about the cereal mascots or SpongeBob and Evil Dead?
No, the cereal mascots. Jesus. Then again, we live in a world where we've got a Winnie the Pooh horror film coming out, so.
I feel like SpongeBob meets Evil Dead would get us closer to something like Monster House, maybe. Just with more explicit material.
On Saturday, my mum had on The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Many fans have questioned whether or not Ichabod or Brom is the hero, as Ichabod's ultimate aim seems to be gaining Baltus von Tassel's fortune. The original plan in the Disney adaptation of 1908 was it be a full feature film. After Walt Disney decided to reduce the adaptation to part of a package film, several scenes for the screenplay had to be cut to save time and never got animated. The short story briefly compares the lanky Ichabod Crane to a scarecrow. The comic character Scarecrow, a Batman villain, seems to be partially based on Ichabod Crane and resembles him in his appearance, and Scarecrow's real name is Jonathan Crane. It's all related, you see.
I really like Ichabod and Mr. Toad, but I gotta be honest with you, that's probably the most I've ever thought about it. It's like, what, an hour long?
Just to mention, if you haven't voted in the poll, get voting while you still can, because at the minute we have a film set for next week, 2 weeks time, but after that we're in Thai territory. So what's going on?
Also, you could extend that a little further and say that Ichabod Crane spends that movie as a chicken shit, and then the Scarecrow's ultimate weapon is fear toxin.
Yeah, makes sense. Disney animator Andreas Deja used Brom Bones as an inspiration for Gaston in the Beauty and the Beast animation.
Let me just say, I love Gaston as a character.
You can find more of this discussion in our top 15 villains video, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap plug.
Yeah, I say that, but you're the one that put him in your list.
Yeah, I love Gaston.
Sleepy Hollow is so underrated. Johnny Depp adopted Goldeneye, the horse that played Gunpowder, Ichabod Crane's horse in the film, when he heard it was going to be put down.
Yeah, I mentioned this in our top 5 horror movies video, but I'm going to say it again. Sleepy Hollow is fucking incredible, and the first video I did on it did not do it justice because I didn't appreciate it that much back then. But it's it's literally in my top 5 horror movies now.
It was only after being cast as the Headless Horseman that Christopher Walken admitted to Tim Burton he didn't know how to ride a horse.
Naturally. It sounds like that's a common theme with actors, to say you can ride a horse when you can't, because that's how you get parts.
Licorice pizza.
Fair point.
I want to see how Christopher Walken even approached that subject. Like, I want to know if he went up to Tim Burton beforehand and was like, Tim, I can't ride a horse. Or if they just brought him a horse and he was like, I don't know what to do.
By the way, Owen, you brought up Licorice Pizza a couple of times tonight. I guess this would be the time to note that until I was doing the Yours, Mine, and Ours video, I completely forgot that Gary Goetzman, the inspiration for Gary Valentine, was one of the kids in Yours, Mine, and Ours, and I had completely forgotten that musical number that I saw in Licorice Pizza is from because I've mentioned many times before, Christine Ebersol is supposed to be Lucille Ball, so obviously that performance in Licorice Pizza is the Yours, Mine, and Ours performance. For some reason, it took me doing the Yours, Mine, and Ours video to remember that shit.
Very cool.
I won't lie, when you brought up Licorice Pizza and then you immediately went to the Yours, Mine, and Ours video, I was like, where the hell is this going?
Well, yeah, actually very closely connected.
Meant to ask because Marlon Brando declined his Oscar for The Godfather. If the Academy could have awarded number 2 for the Best Actor race, who would it have been?
Who was that lineup?
Paul Winfield for Sounder, Peter O'Toole for The Ruling Class, and Flashback for Movie Club number 3. Kane and Olivier for Sleuth.
They're asking who the Academy would have said?
Who do you think number 2 would have been?
I kind of want to say Olivier, but I wonder if him and Kane would have split. But I could see them going with the veteran more than I could see them going with where Kane was at the time.
I mean, if you took Marlon Brando out, which I know they couldn't have done, but would either Voight or Reynolds would have made it in for Deliverance, you think?
That's a good question.
I'm not sure. Maybe possibly Voight, but I don't know. I don't know if the acting was ever going to get. I feel like the person that would have been the closest to getting his acting acknowledged would have been Beatty, probably, but that would have been in supporting.
which was a bloodbath in itself anyway. Is that
Yeah,
the
like the
only
three
time
Godfather
that
acts.
is that the only time that 3 out of the 5 nominees have been from the same film? Probably.
Supporting actress did it. I think at least a couple. I think Tom Jones did it for supporting actress.
AJ freaking.
Godfather 2 did it as well with God's Own Strasberg along with De Niro.
AJ, I freaking love that performance of Emily Blunt in Girl on the Train, and defend it to all my friends. I love the fact that SAG nominated. The Oscars should have. Who are you taking out of the 5 for Best Actress to put her in?
Probably Ruth Negga. Because that was it was Stone, Huppert, Negga.
Let's quickly check awards. There it is. Best Actress. Uh, 2016. So yeah, Stone won for La La Land, and the other nominees were Huppert for Elle, Negga for Loving, Natalie Portman for Jackie, and Meryl Streep for Florence Foster Jenkins.
Yeah, Negga. Pretty easily. Not that Nega's bad, just that's the others are too strong.
Yeah.
And then obviously if Blunt had been in there, she should have wiped the floor with everybody, but what can you do?
That's another film. The Girl on the Train is another one that comes out on DVD, and they have to differentiate which one it is, because there's a film that's completely unrelated to it that came out like a year or 2 before, but of course they re-released it with the same style bloody packaging to make you think it was the other one. Ooh, I have to quickly look up the list here. Favourite and least favourite A24 film so far.
The worst is either Cut Bank or Dark Places. That's easy. And everybody that says A24 is the best thing ever do not remember or probably even know about the existence of Cut Bank or Dark Places.
That's television. I don't want television. List of A24 films.
Spring Breakers would be. Spring Breakers is A24, right?
Spring Breakers and The Spectacular Now.
Yeah.
Credits. Tusk. I love Tusk. I don't care. Ex Machina. Room.
Lock is good. Enemy is good. Oh God, Amy, the documentary on Amy Winehouse was there.
The Disaster Artist.
I stand by. It Comes at Night was from them, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely stand by that.
Uncut Gems.
Oh shit, yeah. That's got to be towards the top.
Well, no, AJ, I'm sure you want to throw out a shout to Macbeth.
Oh Jesus. Yeah. Macbeth is. I think Macbeth is my answer. So Macbeth and probably Cut Bank is a little worse than Dark Places.
Farewell.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff. Minari.
Last Black
There
Man in
is
San Francisco. Really good film.
There is a common misconception that I don't like A24. I just feel like I don't like a lot of the newer A24 stuff.
It seems like this, with the exception of X and Pearl, it seems like this year has been where you disagree with them. Well, no,
I like Marcel.
Yeah, because at first it sounded like you didn't like Marcel, but you seem to have kind of come around on it since it's like had time to set in.
Well, Well, it's funny you mention that because honestly, like when I was like setting like Kevin Smith and Wild Wild West, like this piece of crap when I first saw it, and then it's like it took me a minute to kind of grow on me, and I was like, this could be really bad and like super pretentious, and I'm gonna hate every second of it. But it started to grow on me, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was really nice and heartwarming. It's really funny. It's something that in another world it probably would get a screenplay nomination, but I not this year.
It's basically impossible to dislike it.
Yeah. But I mean, Men is trash. I absolutely hate. God, there's so many.
You're gonna say something bad about Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I'm gonna have to come down to Florida and smack you for it.
Yeah, come on,
Oh yeah.
come on.
I don't remember liking Mojave. I think it was called. I'm guessing it's Mojave because it's the desert of the same name.
You know why I didn't immediately jump on Macbeth is because the first thing I think of with Macbeth is Apple. I almost forgot it was April.
Yeah, 8th Grade is on there. I mean, it wouldn't be for me because I've never seen it, but yeah, The Florida Project.
We haven't even mentioned the Ari Aster movies, have we?
Nope. Yeah. But I've not seen any of them, so I can't put those in my list.
The Ty West duology.
Wait, I may or may not have my brother's answer. Did they? I honestly can't remember. I'm drawing a blank. Did they do The Lighthouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
They've done practically all of Eggers' stuff apart from Northman.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I would probably say either The Lighthouse or Disaster Artist, but I'll give the edge to The Lighthouse.
They did Green Knight, Saint Maud.
Oh, the Green Knight.
Lamb.
I don't know. I don't think I knew that you've seen The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, I think I watched it on Netflix. I believe it's been at least a year or so.
I paid to watch that movie in an IMAX screen because the projector broke in the regular theater, so they let us have the IMAX theater for Disaster Artist. It was freaking amazing.
I also appreciate that AJ didn't mention the one film he feels very passionately about. Involving a space vehicle that may be crimson coloured.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's the worst on principle.
Even
though I haven't seen it. But I guess it's also worth noting, brother, you actually haven't seen Uncut Gems yet still.
So freaking good.
I have not.
I'm still very curious what you would think.
So
I didn't mind Tusk either, but it took me a long time to get Justin Long as that walrus out of my head.
Oh, walrus, yes.
And I would say that's a compliment at the end of the day.
And in case you're wondering this is why I'm paranoid now for Everything Everywhere All at Once, because the other films that they also have got coming out, although I only think one or two of these might also get attention from the Academy. Next week is going to be Stars at Noon, the new film from Claire Denis, who's done a lot of great stuff recently. After Sun, which has garnered a lot of attention, certainly in the British press, because it's I think it's technically a BBC film, which I do love the fact that it's only going to be released digitally on Mubi over here. Great job. Then in November we've got Causeway, Jennifer Lawrence's big return. The Inspection, from Elegance Bratton, and then The Whale on December 9th.
It is. Oh my god.
They're all A24 films, and then we've also got Joanna Hogg's Eternal Daughter, Ethan Cohen's Jerry Lee Lewis Trouble in Mind, the documentary, and Ari Aster's Disappointment Boulevard, of course. Also Alex Garland's Civil War, Steve McQueen's Occupied City, Jonathan Glazer, Zone of Interest. I don't. Beneath the Skin wasn't A24, I think, was it?
I was just sitting here thinking, I think it might be, but I also think I might have made this mistake before, and it's not. I can't remember.
Yeah, it feels like it's A24, but it isn't actually. Yeah. If
It's just barely out of sight on my shelf, so I can't see it from here.
I think because Under the Skin was 2011 or 2012, A24 only came into existence in 2013. So I think
Under the Skin is 2014. It might have had festival runs in 2013.
It is 2013.
Yeah.
2013 in 2013 at the Telluride Festival is where it got its premiere.
When you see
A24 distributed in America.
When you see Scarlett Johansson in all her glory, you remember what year it was. It's just
God, that's that's technically from its premiere in Telluride, it's nearly 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't remember her being naked. I just remember the guy basically going into the oil, Tunguska style. That's the weird image for me.
If you don't remember her being naked, you don't remember like 60% of the movie.
I just remember like the weird liquid abyss thing, because I just felt that's very easy and like drug induced, you know. Underrated smaller studios. Underrated.
I'm not sure how to answer this.
I don't know whether I can say that they're underrated. That's the thing. Because everything that's obvious, sort of like Plan B and Steve McQueen will be Plan B. So a lot of the big production studios are probably like overrated to some extent. I don't want to say A24 is overrated, but they don't know how to do a campaign at awards, which you'd have thought would be simple.
Yeah. They do have a Best Picture winner under their belt. Did any of us mention Moonlight? But yes, since Moonlight, they seem to have a habit of dropping the ball, awards-wise.
I'm trying to think of the UK studios.
Yeah,
I know. I know it's technically distribution, but Picture House have a good ratio of good films. Last Tree, I remember. Inner the Yard, the sort of Jamaican music documentary, very sort of Buena Vista Social Club style. Although it's probably not a great comparison, but you know, it is a documentary style thing. A lot of their stuff that they've picked up for distribution has been pretty good. But that's probably all I can think of, obviously, off the top of my head. Oh, I like the fact that Josephine said there was a great small British studio back in the day, Ealing. Coming from the country, it wasn't small. It was not small. It was the equivalent of Pinewood at the time. You know, it was like massive. It's just various financial things that screwed it up. In all essence. Russell Crowe in Gladiator or Russell Crowe in Beautiful Mind? Which performance is better and which movie did you like better? says Spence. Ask Spencer.
I would probably have to say Gladiator for both, but I feel like A Beautiful Mind also gets a lot of undeserved hate. It's this because there's only so many ways you can play the scene where he finds his family, and that was the way.
I like the Gladiator film better, but I think performance-wise, A Beautiful Mind's stronger. Because Gladiator does have a lot of good stuff, you know, with CGI Oliver Reed and Phoenix before he gained more traction, arguably.
Yeah, I single out the scene where he finds his family, but I mean, there's also how do you even mention that scene without just saying the whole thing? Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, that kind of thing. That whole thing. Brother, do you have a Russell Crowe answer?
I actually have not seen A Beautiful Mind all the way through.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all the way through. He has seen some of it.
So for right now, I'd have to go with Gladiator, but I really like Gladiator, though.
Owen?
Bro, come on.
Uh-oh.
I mean, how many people know, like, have been watching this channel for the longest time knowing that I don't like Russell Crowe? Beautiful Mind's more of a slap in the face, given what year it was. But
when you turned your camera off, my first thought was he's avoiding A Beautiful Mind.
Hell. I guess by process of elimination, we're gonna have to go with Gladiator.
Is there anything that have you seen Romper Stomper?
I just don't like Russell Crowe.
Oh.
I mean, I get a lot of flack for this. I liked him in Les Mis.
He is Javert.
Yes, he is.
I will also defend him in Les Mis, but that's probably a video later.
Sure, it is actually.
To be honest, if he was in Cats, it would have actually made it better.
The South Park thing is always what me when it comes to Russell Crowe, though.
Yeah.
The Russell Crowe fighting around the world. So
replace him with James Corden. He'd have more chemistry with bloody.
And we've come full circle because he's also in Master and Commander.
Yeah.
What, James Corden?
Time to take it home. Let's go.
Yeah. James Corden was in Master and Commander. He was the ship, right?
I heard shit, but I didn't hear a P at the end of that. So
when an actor or an actress has a couple of bad years, they come back with a movie where they're an alcoholic. Ben Affleck for The Way Back, Gwyneth Paltrow, Country Strong, to lesser results. So you're telling me Will Smith's an alcoholic?
I like Country Strong. I get a lot of flack for that.
I will give Country Strong credit, regardless of the content. I did not see that ending coming.
Nope.
That's the only thing I think of with Country Strong. I was like, wow, they went there with that ending. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I can say that about Smile, too.
Thoughts on Jackman returning as Wolverine for Deadpool 3?
Money talks.
I love Mangold having the gif of Wolverine getting speared on the log over and over again if you just let it loop.
I have no comment.
The only thing I will say is watching the movie with no CGI back in the day was one of the most enjoyable experiences for the wrong reasons.
And then the worst part was, I don't know if you ever heard this, Owen, but when it actually came out for real, the effects weren't that different.
Not surprised.
I mean, I'm intrigued to see what they do, but at the same time, it shows you that the sun shit, in which Hugh Jackman needs a shit ton of money to try and restore his reputation.
The only thing I'll say is that my interest is at a resounding 0. That's all I'm gonna say.
Same for many reasons.
What about you, brother? You had some pretty strong opinions about this.
I think it's fine. I'm curious to see where it goes. I mean, we've been building to it for 2 movies anyway.
Spencer says, I saw Smile in theatres and will never be the same.
So we'll get into that because I'm sure AJ will have a review eventually.
Yeah, it will be on when I see and review Amsterdam. It'll be on that video.
So the only thing I'll say about Smile, Spencer, is the fact that the viral marketing is fantastic for the movie. So much to the point that it's ridiculous what they went through with the budget.
I appreciate the bloody baseball games where these random people were standing up and doing the grin, just staring directly into the cam, while all these pictures and actual games were going on. That's how guerrilla this marketing campaign went.
The Twitter thing is great too,
and it worked. My only concern is it made a shit ton of money. They're gonna make a sequel. Something's gonna happen, like with Sinister 2, where it's gonna get explained away and it's gonna be shit. Why else do you think the Babadook works?
Well, I never watched that movie.
Whoa.
But I will say the thing about Smile that I will say that it had me it was really it was doing well, and then it came to the ending, and I'm like, nope.
No, that was back in July.
Yeah. I like the concept. I like the concept of the movie. The only problem is AJ, you'll appreciate this. The finish and pretty much all the high spots are given away in the trailer. So you won't have to see, if you watch the trailer, you would not miss anything.
So it's
That's
a Fast
why
and
I
Furious
fucking
film.
don't.
It's a Fast and Furious film. No, Don't was a good trailer. Edgar Wright.
Yeah. But
very haunting of Hill House.
I will say it did get me to see some good trailers in the theater, though. Like My Movie Day Today did some good trailers. And I'm not talking about the crap that was on Smile. I'm talking about the stuff that was on The Woman King.
Spencer says, crazy as shit and trauma-inducing ride. The lead actress is giving a truly wild performance. Sound, directing, and cinematography are amazing. Women in horror this year are where it's at. Favourite female performance this year in horror, mine are Sosie Bacon in Smile and Mia Goth in X and Pearl. I think Mia is... You have to acknowledge Mia because she's obviously... She's basically playing, 3 different characters / eras?
Yeah, to me, there's no contest with this answer.
No, there's not.
Though, shout out to Keke Palmer as well, but
yeah,
Mia Goth is on another fucking level this year.
I cannot wait for Maxine.
I'm trying to see what
I'll give credit on that one. Yeah, the cinematography in Smile is solid. Like the upside down shots and everything like that. The way that that's done, the way that they utilize jump scares for the right reasons instead of the wrong ones in some places, but in other ways, no. So unique death scenes, I'm good with that. That was fun. I was hoping it was either going to be one of 2 things. it was either going to be Sinister 2 or The Bye Bye Man.
Well, there was
It's
also
somewhere
that.
in the middle.
There was also that really really stupid smiling thing in Truth or Dare.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Golden House movie. God, that fucking cringe factory of a movie.
So you got Pearl and Barbarian are coming to the network soon with reviews. So
Well, Barbarian isn't even in the list on Google, despite how well it's done in the box office. Worst performance by every actor in a horror film was Better Watch Out. AJ, I agreed with everything in your review. The guy from Pan should have quit while he was ahead with bad movies. I'm trying to remember Better Watch Out. I don't whether that even came out over here.
It was the one. There was the Christmas one with the evil kid. It was dumb as fuck.
sounds about right.
They were and they tried to do the thing where it was like gory Home Alone, and it was trying way too fucking hard.
From what I've heard, the one I'm most looking forward to in terms of horror is The Menu.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Rafe being Rafe.
It's another movie that feel like it's had like 1,000 trailers that it was never going to come out. Now it's finally coming out.
Oh, are we talking about Levi Miller? The kid?
Yeah, I think that's the
Oh,
thing,
he was
yeah.
in A Wrinkle in Time. Of course he was. And he's going to be in Craven the Hunter. Great. Favorite Jane Austen adaptation?
Probably. I'm guessing the Jane Austen book club doesn't count. So,
Austin Land doesn't count for
yeah, I would probably say the Emma with Gwyneth, but I'm not crazy about. Well, Joe writes Pride and Prejudice is perfectly fine. Sense and Sensibility, obviously, is probably maybe Sense and Sensibility then Emma for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I'm trying to look through the stuff and see what has. Wow, there ain't a lot. Sanderson's obviously a TV series.
Yeah, well, there's only what 6 or 7 Jane Austen novels.
Oh, Love and Friendship was an adaptation of Lady Susan. I really like that. Just to not like go to the obvious ones. The problem is like arguably the iconic Pride and Prejudice for us here is probably the Jennifer Ellen Colin Firth one from the 90s, which broke kettles because that many people put it on when Colin Firth came out the water. That's the only reason why it happens in Bridget Jones as well. And Sense and Sensibility was strong as well, so. And then on the Emma front, I really did like Autumn de Wilde's version. Maybe because it was Bill Nighy. Just being Bill Nighy. No matter what, he's just him in everything. And I guess technically Clueless is an adaptation.
Yeah.
And that's the correct answer.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other loose, ones. Oh, there was that Bride and Prejudice, wasn't there? The Indian one?
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Oh, that was different. I guess technically Bridget Jones is a loose Pride and Prejudice adaptation. Sorry, I've just found out that Jane Austen was the narrator of Saints Row 4. Oh, I need to play that now. Favourite part of a Cinderella story? I love when Jennifer Coolidge says she's just not pretty enough with the eye goggles, and when she's running around the property from the police. I love the movie theatre scene in Scream 2. Favourite part of Scream 2, and I think it may be better than the first. Could you make an argument for the second being better?
Oh, hold on. We're not glossing over this Cinderella story.
Well,
Jimmy World Hear You Me from that movie is one of my favorite scenes of that year.
there is some Jennifer Coolidge love coming in a comment later on, so that's why I was holding off on that, but that might be the only good. I don't want. It's annoying that I don't want to say I don't want Cinderella story to exist, but that's because I know that there's Cinderella 2 and 3 at least. Might be 4. Because they spun the shit out of that for straight to DVD.
Who is? I can never remember her name. Wasn't it? It's this. She's fucking gorgeous. That's why I'm trying to remember her. Jessica Kennedy something? Or Jessica something Kennedy? I don't remember. I think she was in another Cinderella story or something. And that's the only thing I remember was I had a huge crush on her after that.
Hang on. Let's go to the Wikipedia page for Cinderella story.
Jessica
I
Parker.
think I'm thinking of the right thing. But I think I am.
Jessica Parker Kennedy. She's Canadian.
But having Googled her now, do you see what I mean?
Hang on, I'm trying to look for the one that she's in. 5 direct-to-video sequels. Another Cinderella story, which was Selena Gomez. Lucy Hale in Once Upon a Song. Sophia Carson in If a Shoe Fits. Laura Morano in Christmas Wish. And Starstruck, that only came out last year. What shit? And it's a standalone sequel to Christmas Wish. Even though it's a different actress. That's the same character. Oh god, it's Warner Brothers. It probably's got deleted off HBO Max. It's a tax write-off. Get rid of it. Then again, it probably makes too much money for him. Yeah, so can you make an argument for Scream 2 being better than Scream 1? I can see it because obviously, because you've seen the first one, you think you know what's coming with Scream 2, and it does try and subvert it as much as possible. I guess the problem is you can't subvert it too much, which is probably why 3 and 4 weren't as good as they could have been. But they were still pretty good, I would say. And then I think, 5 delivered this year. I'm trying to work out whether AJ's thinking was just zoned out.
It's tough because it's got the one of the, until what happened with Dewey in the new one. Honestly, the one thing that comes to mind and the most heartbreaking thing when it comes to Scream is obviously Randy's death. And I absolutely love Ola Fantastic Mickey is such a great character.
Oh, that's why AJ was frozen.
I will say that I'm very excited to be able to see it on the big screen again. And that opening scene in the movie theater that we alluded to, I mean, just solid stuff.
Spencer asks, most anticipated award movies you want to see? I think mine are
Babylon.
Menu, All Quiet, Bones and All, Women Talking, and Winnie the Pooh. Haha, jokes. So, I'm trying to remember what the actual release dates are over here.
I'd probably go with The Whale just because I love that Brendan Fraser's having his comeback.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Amsterdam on Monday, but
I want to see Amsterdam too.
I don't want to get burned. Speaking of the same day, I'm watching the screen too. I don't want to get burned by David O. Russell again, like I did with American Hustle.
I could understand the concern there because I worry about that too.
I mean, he literally wrote my life in the 2010s. So, but needless to say, and he destroyed my Oscar predictions that year for American Hustle. I am a little bit apprehensive, to say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited for it. I mean, a lot of the Oscar bait movies actually look decent. I mean, I saw my first trailer for Till today. I saw my first trailer for She Said today.
I mean, Lost King, Lost King, Woman King, and Amsterdam are this week, at least for me. Part of me wants to know whether British kids are going to like Lyle Crocodile.
I can't wait for it. I remember
it does seem American. Not to shit on Americans, but like, I don't know how well it will carry over to an international audience. I mean,
it depends on how many people that are marks for Shawn Mendes.
True.
That'll probably help its business.
Banshees is exciting because it's got a fucking donkey. Decision to Leave, but that'll be on Mubi, so I won't be able to see it. Triangular Sadness, I probably won't be able to see. Part of me is intrigued by the IMAX version of One Piece that's actually coming out over here, which I was sort of surprised by. That's nothing else. Wow, Menu and Aftersun are the same day. And Armageddon Time. Wow. Strange World looks interesting, and I think that could be a contender for animated. Whether it will win or not, I don't know, but I think it'll be in there. Just have a quick check. I'm trying to work out what's coming out around Christmas time. Oh, I Want to Dance with Somebody's getting put in the Boxing Day slot. Which is interesting, because normally Boxing Day is when the bad films come out. Like 47 Ronin.
Oh, trailer looks good.
Yeah, I mean,
Stanley Tucci it actually comes off really well in the trailer, too.
It's got potential.
I don't think it's going to do anything, but I mean, we'll see.
And we're not getting Babylon or Tar till next year, and Empire of Light until what's got a love to do with it? Fablemans, Untitled Gerard Butler action thriller. That's why I love the UK website. It's just like, oh, and then there's also EO, which apparently also has a donkey on the poster.
I'd be more excited if it was a Captain EO movie.
I mean, if it was EO and it was directed by Eric O. and Bardo.
who I will get to be seeing next month, actually. So yeah, I scared the daylights out of him actually during a couple weeks ago. So yeah.
See, this is where the conspiracy theory kicks in. Because AJ left the call via technical issues or whatever. And lo and behold, the next question from Spencer is favorite Jennifer Coolidge performance. Oh.
I'd have to go Stifler's mom.
Yeah, I was.
That's a really great answer, and I feel that that's probably the correct answer. But yeah, because I love her in the Chris Guest movies, but I mean, there's nothing that really sticks out per se. It's just I enjoy her in the movie.
I think she did a good job in Legally Blonde, though.
Yeah, Legally Blonde would probably be my second choice.
That video's available on this channel right now.
She was in Young Woman as well. And then, like, trying to think, like, television-wise as well. She was pretty good in Two Broke Girls. She was in the predominant stuff of.
We can save the answer for later if necessary.
Yeah. She was in 4 episodes of King of the Hill. There we go. Gotta get King of the Hill in somehow. Best and worst Exorcism movies outside of The Exorcist, which would, I guess, by default be best.
I would say the best for me is maybe the first Conjuring.
Yeah, The Conjuring's fantastic.
Yeah.
There is no modern day exorcism movies. There's nothing even comes close. The other Conjuring movies, not as much, but they're still solid for what they are.
Worst, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of contenders in that.
I will get a lot of heat for this. I really don't care. The correct answer is Drag Me to Hell.
I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, I don't know. Maybe honestly, I think I'll go with the absolute worst, and I think it's just based on expectation and the series that it's in. Exorcist: The Beginning was terrible.
I'm trying to remember which one that is.
That's the one that they made it, and there was a theatrical version, and then they made like an alternate version. It was like the Superman 2 Donner cut, but more changes. But I just remember watching Exorcist: The Beginning, and I just thought it was a snooze fest.
I didn't like Vatican tapes because that was trying to be too sort of like Blair Witch style.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't, Also, from what I remember, Possession of Hannah Grace wasn't that good either. And then Exorcism of Emily Rose, I think, was good.
I remember it being. Is that the one that has Tom Wilkinson in it, right?
I think so.
Is he? I think he is playing the preacher that performs the exorcism. Am I remembering that correctly?
It rings a bell. I can't. It's been a what? It's 2005, so it's been a while. Oh, that's why I liked it so much. It's written by Scott Derrickson.
I do remember watching Exorcism of Emily Rose, and just Jennifer Carpenter just came off really creepy.
Scott directed it as well. Fit. Movies that gave you nightmares for days. Spencer says.
Tusk.
Spencer says Smile, the original Halloween, and The Strangers.
Sinister.
Yeah, Sinister's got to be up there too.
AJ's not, but the story always goes that we would Siskel and Ebert after every single movie we watched. And I recall very distinctly, right after Sinister ended, not sitting in the theater and talking about it. Oh no, I got the hell out of there, and I just left in silence. And AJ had to follow me out.
I remember the first time I watched Sinister was on a laptop in a completely dark room, and I immediately regretted that decision.
Oh, issue.
For me, I'd probably say Babadook and... Oh, I'm trying to remember. I think it was called The Outsiders. I need to quickly check. It was Boris Karloff. Some other woman that was notorious for sort of being in good stuff. Where is it? Oh, sorry, it's not The Outsiders, The Sorcerers. Michael Reeves' other film that isn't Witchfinder General. About this old couple basically hypnotizing and possessing young people to get their out of. The ending of that, which I won't say, creeped me the hell out. And it works as well because it's only sort of like an 82, it's the equivalent of like a really short, like a modern, like a Blumhouse film. 90 minutes, one and done sort of thing. Bryce says, I'm guessing based on your reaction, Owen did not like Tar.
Didn't see Tar. I don't like the fact that my predictions are as locked as I want them to be, even in August. When something else has to bump somebody out that I'd rather be there instead. I can't say anything about the movie because I haven't seen it, but I mean, it's not that I don't like Tar. It's just I don't want it in the lineup because it takes people out of the lineup that I would rather have in there instead.
Yeah.
Was that a Discord thing or was that only me?
We've all been here.
We're all here. You froze up, so I'm guessing it must have been a Discord thing.
Everything froze. I had to turn everything off and on again.
Oh.
That has never happened to this computer before, and what a fucking perfect time to choose to.
Right, so to quickly go through everything that you missed, the Scream 1, Scream 2 argument. Can you make an argument that 2 is better than 1?
No, I cannot, because I disagree. There's a whole 4.5 hour video where we talk about that whole series. Everything you want to know is in that video, I promise.
Favorite Jennifer Coolidge performance?
Does that include the White Lotus?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
There you go. It would either be that or probably a Christopher Guest performance, but I would say the White Lotus.
Thank you.
Oh man, I'm disappointed you didn't use my answer.
What was that?
Stifler's mom.
It's a very brief performance, but she does leave an impression.
Best and worst Exorcism movies, excluding The Exorcist.
Well, The Exorcist 3 is up there.
My apologies to Lorraine if she sees this.
She is the lender of that movie.
There's a million straight to video ones that would qualify for the worst, and I'm sure quite a few of them have probably been reviewed.
Yep.
For my worst, I went with Exorcist the beginning because it's a freaking snooze fest.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think Schrader's was that much better as far as I remember. But yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't go with my answer for the top one either.
this is one where I'm sure there's obvious ones that I'm scrambling to think of, and I can't. What was yours?
I went with The Conjuring.
Oh shit, that is an Exorcism movie, isn't it? I don't know. I really love The Exorcist 3.
Movies that gave you nightmares for days after watching them.
Wow. Do I have an interesting answer for this?
Yeah, you do.
One of the only movie characters I can think of that literally gave me nightmares was Christopher Lloyd in Dennis the Menace.
Yep.
I swear to God.
There you go. That's an answer you didn't expect, Spencer. Last few comments. Josephine says, finished watching The Late Show from '77. A fun murder mystery comedy with Art Carney and Lily Tomlin. And then the question is, favourite Lily Tomlin performance?
9 to 5.
Oh my God.
She's Edith Ann too, and Laughing. So I mean, go with that. It's me.
I like her, but she never really leaves a really lasting impression on me. All I can think about is that footage from the making of I Heart Huckabees and her cameo in The Player. And it's I don't know why.
Jane Hathaway, come on.
And yeah. And there's Nashville, I guess. I don't have a passionate answer to this one. I hate to say it.
I know it's only a voice role, but she's pretty good as Aunt May in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, probably Nashville. I put that ahead of 9 to 5 or Shortcuts. Then of course a lot of her stuff would predominantly be television sort of stuff, I would have thought.
Yeah, it's between TV and Altman.
Deborah Federer and Billy West Wing, And I feel Grace and Frankie's been pretty good as well. The bits that I have managed to see of it. And then Bry says, from what I've heard about Banshees, the play has no connection to the film script. So... I love the fact that it's going to have to go to some big adjudication court as to how is it adapted or is it original. So, going on the order of voting, I think we have our schedule set up for October and most of October and November, probably even into December. Which probably fits with what we've got. So, obviously tomorrow at AJ and Chris were still good for 6 Eastern tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be when we touch on Summer School from the Paramounts. Then in 2 weeks' time, week beginning the 17th of October, as I am the poll, Kronos wins the poll.
So AJ gets to win the poll on his birthday time around as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Then for Halloween, well, week starting the 31st of October, but it obviously won't be on then. Owen's selection of Brain Scan.
Huh.
Then 14th of November, so to creep you out in time for Thanksgiving, just because it got voted on before, or sorry, it got voted on after Owen's one vote, The Man Who Haunted Himself, which means Black Monday. It's Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Hell yeah! It's perfect. That probably worked out just about right. So that's your lineup for the next couple of months. But yeah, tomorrow it'll be summer school time in the autumn.
And this is very convenient because Kronos is still on HBO Max right now.
Oh, is it going to be on for the next 2 weeks? Can we confirm?
Better, but
Man Who Haunted Himself, I'm pretty sure is at least on Amazon, because it kept wanting me to go to Amazon.com, and I'm like, but I'm Amazon UK, and I bought it because of course I did. Brain Scan, I don't know. Pee-wee's Big Adventure probably will be. Brain Scan, I don't know though, so I'll have to do some research on that and keep you up to, in case you need to find your other illicit means to find it. Or whether it's just for me. The other illicit means are needed.
just you.
So yeah, that is your lot for this Q&A. Thanks for hanging in with us with all the delays, technical difficulties, and other assorted nonsense. Owen, you'll probably be back, I'm guessing, for the Oscar predictions, maybe? You won't be...
Yeah. They threw us a curveball like hardcore, so it's going to be difficult to do anything right now until October's over.
Yeah. And of course, you'll be busy that week anyway, because that's when brain scans are getting covered, so...
Yeah.
AJ, I'm guessing more movie reviews and verses on the way.
a lot of them.
About it.
And Chris, hype up your Instagram.
On Instagram at Chris Hunts Toys. Next toy hunt will be in 2 weeks. We'll be returning to Toy Hio.
Ooh.
So, I can be found on social media, Ash is my name UK. Owen is tweeting here and there at Surround Disney, but, keep an eye out for that. Also, I will try and put tweets out for at Popcast Network, and I'm guessing Owen will retweet it either from there or whatever.
Yes.
Chris already mentioned his Instagram. And AJ, just like Keith Richards, is a man. And also cannot be killed by conventional weapons. At least last I checked, Keith Richards is a man. I don't know. Can we get a 23andMe on it?
But it's funny we say this, by the way, because something was filmed over this past weekend, and Keith Richards will actually be showing up in a movie that's getting reviewed.
Oh,
Nice.
But I'm struggling to remember. Did we even talk about him?
I don't think we mentioned him once. Or the other musical cameo.
There you go. Bit of a sort of like cliffhanger. What's AJ talking about?
And by the way, this review is gonna be like a month from now.
Just in time for November. So, thank you to Bri, Josephine, and Spencer. I think those are the only three names I spotted in chat. And of course, thanks to everybody catching on the archive that weren't able to join us live. You know, put stuff in the comments. AJ might go over some of them, which will be weird as... No, I guess the comments are separate to live chat, so they will still be there. So, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, it's a yak. That's all I've got to say about that. Yakety yak. Don't come back.